Sri Ramcharitamanas of Goswami Tulsidas Ji. Tulsidas wrote very beautifully, Bade Bhagya Manush Tanu Pava, Sur Durlabh Sad Granthan Gaya. There are 8,400,000 species of creation, of which the most difficult to assume is the human form. Having said that, Sri Ram mentioned it's a great blessedness to be born as a human being. So it is established that once we are human beings, we are all blessed. Everybody is blessed to be born as a human being. And as was mentioned many times, what we are is God's gift to us. What we are, what do we make of ourselves is our gift to God. The key to life's success is what we make of ourselves. But the vehicle really is the body. Now, this human body undergoes 6 modifications. There is birth, existence, growth, maturity, decay, and death. We all undergo these 6 modifications. No matter who we may be, what ethnicity, what background, what stratum in society, we all have to undergo these 6 modifications. We are told, from a Hindu perspective, that there are 4 stages in human development. There is brahmacharya, or the student stage. There is grihastha, the householder stage. Vanprastha, where a person begins to let go, to detach. And the sannyas, where one detaches totally, lives a life of renunciation. We are told that from birth to around 25 years of age, brahmacharya. It is said the brain functions with maximum efficiency at this particular stage. From 25 to 50, 55, we live lives of householders. It is said no man is an island. And we need to repay our debt of gratitude. He who takes without giving is a thief. So we are advised that there are 5 directions in which gratitude must be given. To God, to the sages, the fathers of dharma, to the pitris, to society, and to the lower forms of creation. In this grihastha ashram, especially, we make all efforts possible to repay these debts. If I live to be around 50, 55, then I begin to let go. Because of the body itself degenerating to a certain extent, the senses degenerating, I begin to let go. I don't grab on. I don't cling on. I don't allow the trishnas or the cravings of this world to affect me. I try to go beyond. And if I live to be 75 years of age, then the scriptures tell me I should detach totally. Let go. Live a life of renunciation and try to tap into my own divinity, my own spirituality. So we see that the human form is given to us so we can embark upon a wonderful journey. A journey from point A to point B. From where we are at, when we start life, we need to assess where we reach, spiritually that is. Now in society itself, there are many interactions that we carry out on a daily basis. Now notice a very, very important, a key word, a key principle that determines almost everything that happens to us is karma. Karma. Our actions. It is said, Jaisa karni vaisa bharni. This is how they say it in Hindi. As we plant, so shall we reap. Even Einstein's second law, I think it is said, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. It's a law of nature. It's a cosmological law. Once there is creation, we are subjected to this very powerful law. Bearing in mind, when I mentioned one day is creation, this world is referred to as Brahma Prapanch. There are 5 main factors that exist in this world of duality, as we call it, Sansara, Bhausagar, the ocean of duality. There is name, there is form, space, time, and causation. So these 5 factors exist. So whoever, anybody, once you exist in this, what we call Brahma Prapanch, or this world of duality, you are subjected to the law of karma. Of course, there is the law of reincarnation, transmigration of soul, which we will touch upon some other point in time. Here, karma. Karma is the root cause of everything that happens. In the Sri Ramcharitamanas, again we are told that nobody makes anybody happy, nor makes anybody unhappy. We have the Katha where the Nishad was blaming Kaikeyi for the goings on in Ayodhya Puri. Lakshman told him, "Oh brother, you should not blame anyone. For it is one's own karma that brings about the happiness or the unhappiness that we are looking for, or we're not looking for, as the case may be, unhappiness. The whole idea is that I create what my destiny is, and people are merely facilitators to help me to work out my karma. So karma is root. So having the human body, one must be very, very careful and particular what one does. The scriptures have given to us injunctions and prohibitions. We should try our best to avoid the prohibitions and carry out all the injunctions. All these points have been made, and they are quite familiar to us. There is one point I want to add to this. When in life things happen to fall apart, when things go wrong, when things happen and we do not want to understand, not to accept that it is karmas at work, then the mind runs on the supernatural. The mind runs on evil. And I dare say that in society today, this is a common trend. A lot of people, and in the absence of any survey, I don't want to say the majority, but a lot of people, when they cannot understand something or something happens that they can't identify with or they don't want to happen, or whatever it may be, the mind tends to run upon what they term to be evil. So that when things happen, they tend to believe that evil is stalking the land. Any natural calamity, natural disaster, it is evil. Murders, evil. Untimely death, as we say, evil. A lot of accidental deaths, evil. Misbehavior, deviant behavior, evil. We always lay the blame, some say the devil, who to my mind is the most maligned creature, if he exists, that we have in society. Others may blame other people, and so the blame game continues. In a country that is like crime-ridden, opposition blames government, government blames opposition. Both turn around, blame the police. Police blame the people. And blame game. Everybody is being blamed. They are all right, yet they're all wrong. Everybody is responsible. Not one particular grouping is responsible. It is the collective karmas in a society that bring about the pain that we experience. And pain is of 3 types. Daihik, daivik, bhautik. Bodily discomfort. There is environmental discomfort over which I have some control. And there is environmental disasters over which I have no control. Bhautik tap. Like the hurricanes and the floods, etc. But what is the root cause of all this? Again, the scriptures tell all of us, it is our karmas. Individual karmas as well as collective karmas. We can't escape it. Jaisa karni, vaisa bharni. Now, the evil that people refer to I believe it's some supernatural force they may be thinking about. Some evil spirit, as you refer to it. I can't fully grasp that. But what I'll put to you from what scriptures say, from the point of Vedanta, there is evil, and evil is sixfold. What can be termed to be the sixfold evil? The first is hunger. The second is thirst. The third, grief. The fourth, infatuation. The fifth, decay. And the sixth, death. Wherever these 6 conditions exist, evil exists. Evil exists. Notice, very, very important to pay attention to the fact that nothing here is stated about supernatural forces. They are conditions to which man is exposed once we are born as human beings. This is the evil that scriptures speak about. So that in this context, any country, wherever it may be, where people are exposed to hunger and thirst, you will find that various principles are compromised. Various attitudes will be developed. Certain strategies will be employed, sometimes not recommended by scriptures or by law, that people will try to satisfy their hunger, quench their thirst, compromising. And the actions can be very, very disastrous and also bring disastrous results. In any land where there is grief, and grief can come from various reasons, separation, etc. There's a lot of grief. That in itself is an evil. Infatuation, which will lead to a certain degree of madness, craziness, where sometimes people have certain problems that are quite practical, quite logical, but this kind of madness takes you. You always think it's something supernatural, something beyond. The society itself, there's a certain degree of mental illness that exists, mind disease, infatuation. Where this exists, then yes, there is evil. Decay. Everything must decay. As I mentioned earlier, the body itself undergoes these 6 modifications, decay and death. So decay and death are 2 evils that we all are exposed to. Everyone without exception. Nobody can go beyond these. This is not supernatural. This is not external force that creating this problem for us. It is all of these, our own karmas that bring them about. Our own karmas. Having said this, if you look at our country in the present context, then yes, we can say that there is evil. Not supernatural force at work, but there's grief almost every side you turn. There's death, there's decay, hunger in many cases, thirst also, infatuation. So in this context, there is evil. But how can I overcome this evil? Many people say, pray more, pray more, pray more. I've been saying that every day you look, any side you turn in our country, people are praying. You have the temples, the mosques, the churches, the little tents put up by the wayside. People pray. They are praying everywhere. On all sides they are praying. On all the media, a lot of prayers. Every morning prayers. How then should we pray more? If prayers is the answer, then we shouldn't be having these problems. I am not knocking prayer. But what I want to knock is the attitude that we have when we pray. But that is again being judgmental. People pray, you know how you pray. But I want to add one other dimension, and that is spirituality. I know when people are talking about spirits, they mean evil spirit, so the term may not be a strong term to use, a wise term to use, spirituality. But spirituality identifies with divinity. And every man is spiritual by nature. All scriptures tell us that man is divine by nature. In Christian theology, man is made in the image and likeness of God. Hinduism says, Aham Brahmasmi, I am one with divinity. Our true nature is divinity, spirituality. What I am saying, that we should strive for spirituality, not so much prayerfulness. Prayerfulness is good, if done genuinely, but it has to be accompanied by spirituality. Prayerfulness is a part of spirituality. By all means pray. Mahatma Gandhi ji, the late Mahatma Gandhi, he said, there is an eternal struggle between the breast of man, between the powers of darkness and the powers of light. But he who goes about the affairs of the world with a prayerful heart will surely overcome the powers of darkness and live in eternal light. Prayer is important. But you see, sometimes prayer can lead to fanaticism. It can lead to hypocrisy, negativities. I can be mechanical in my prayer. That genuine love may not exist. Then that prayer, just empty words. This is why I'm emphasizing spirituality, which is like truth, honesty, dutifulness, straightforwardness, etc. Those wonderful qualities that no matter where you go, they accompany you. I have always believed that religiousness you can leave behind. In the temples, the mosques, the churches, you pray, you cry, you feel ecstatic, and then no sooner service is finished, we go back to our old ways of telling the lies, the dishonesty, the unfaithfulness, etc., etc. So religiousness you leave behind. But when spirituality is inculcated, uncovered within, for the powers are all within us, then what happens? Wherever we go, it's with us. And if spirituality guides our attitudes, our actions, then this is a very, very positive way to do the right things in life, so the right things will follow. Many people may ask, in today's world, so many young children are dying. What wrong could they have done? Now, karma cannot be taken in just one dimension only, but just food for thought. If a child, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old dies, when there is death, yes, is there any pain for the person who has died? Who feels the pain? Who is in the grief? And then you will realize that the parents are in grief. The society is in grief. The one who has died, we say the sufferings have come to an end. The ones who are alive, our sufferings continue. So what we are saying, it is not the child's karma only. It is the parents' karmas. All those, the group karma, also responsible. That we suffer that pain, that grief, because of the loss of that near and dear one. It is karmas that work. What else could there be? Is there a God who will decide that this child must suffer, not that child? Then that God is biased. There is only one answer to this question, which is logical and practical. It is karma. Nothing else but karma. And I like to make this point, and as I end, I want to say this. I've made this point before, and somebody with a twisted, perverted intellect will decide that it's not karma is cause, but Kamala is the cause, meaning the Prime Minister. How stupid can we get? I have coined a term for such people who speak such rubbish. I term it intellectual scoliosis. There is no cure for that. Perhaps a bit of surgery, we can try. But if one will think practically and logically, there is no other answer. But there's a good response in the sense that if karma is the cause, then I am responsible. I can bring about change. The power is within my hands. It doesn't depend on any supernatural force. It is me. I am responsible. Therefore, take charge. Remember, what I am is God's gift to me. What I make of myself is my gift to God.
पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन 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 पायो जी मैंने वस्तु अमूलिक दी मेरे सतगुरु, वस्तु अमूलिक, वस्तु अमूलिक, वस्तु अमूलिक, वस्तु अमूलिक दी मेरे सतगुरु, कृपा कर अपनायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने। जन्म जन्म की पूजी पाई, जन्म जन्म की, जन्म जन्म की, जन्म जन्म की पूजी पाई, जग में सभी खोवायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने। करजन खूते वाको छोर न लूते, करजन खूते, करजन खूते वाको छोर न लूते, दिन दिन पधत सवायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने। सत की नाव खेवतिया सतगुरु, सत की नाव खेवतिया सतगुरु, भव सागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने भव सागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने। मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु, मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, गिरिधर नागर, गिरिधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, हर्ष हर्ष जस गायो पायो जी मैंने हर्ष हर्ष जस गायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने। वस्तु अमूलिक दी मेरे सतगुरु, वस्तु अमूलिक दी मेरे सतगुरु, कृपा कर अपनायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन, राम रतन धन, राम रतन धन पायो। हो राम 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 बोलो राम राम राम। श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। हो राम 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 बोलो राम राम राम। श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। ओ राम 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 बोलो राम राम राम। ओ श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। राम 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 बोलो राम राम राम। श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। ओ राम 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 बोलो राम राम राम। श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। ओ राम 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 बोलो राम राम राम। राम 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 बोलो राम राम राम। श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्याम 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 राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। बोल श्री राजा रामचंद्र की जय।
ओम जय स्वाहा माता मैया जय स्वाहा माता। तुम अग्नि की शक्ति तुम अग्नि की शक्ति तुम सच्ची माँ